Stephen King's new book, Fairy Tail, is a freaking playground for speculative lore. But before I take you down this rabbit hole, spoiler warning for Fairy Tail. This is the story of Charlie Reed and his dying dog, Radar. Charlie adopted Radar from Mr. Bowditch, a dying old man who lived in a creepy house on top of a hill. And behind this creepy house is a shed that leads to another world. In this world, Charlie comes across an emerald city called Lilimar. I do believe it's the same emerald city from Wizard and Glass. What's interesting is what's hidden deep in this city. A magic sundial that functions as a kind of fountain of youth. And to me, a symbolic hint that the two emerald cities exist in the same where, but in different whens. Recall the City of Lud from Book 3 of the Dark Tower series. This is important because Fairy Tail makes mention of King Jan's Chancellor Ludum. So I believe Roland's visit to the Emerald City takes place in Lilimar's distant future. Now with the setting covered, there's still so much to cover here, because we still need to travel down the rabbit hole within a rabbit hole. Every time I read The Dark Tower, I always love reading about the conflict between the Greys and Pubes. Yes, they're called Pubes, don't blame me, blame Stephen King. Anyways, I believe Fairy Tail has given us more information to help us contextualize the conflict. The Greys and Pubes are rival factions battling for control over the city of Lud. And I think it's entirely possible that Greys, like Gasher, are distant descendants of those who survived the Flight Killer's plague. Because what if the Grey sickness passed down through the generations gave them a kind of immunity to toxic radiation? And if it's true that Fairy Tail is based on this world's distant past, then it's possible the events of Fairy Tail form the myths present in the conflict between the Greys and Pubes. What if the TikTok man's obsession with time was born from a myth about a certain magic sundial? Or what if the TikTok man weaponized one of these myths? Because there's a reason the Greys stay below ground and the Pubes stay above. The Greys have the Pubes believing in a certain ghost in the machine monster, one that can raise the dead. Stephen King's Fairy Tail features a monster that may be as powerful as Pennywise and Randall Flagg. But in order to reach this thing, we have to go down a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole. So come inside the shed, watch your step on the way down, because this way lies another world. This is the world of Empus, but we're not here to see the nice people like Dora. We're here to track a monster who could be as insidious as Pennywise. We make our way to Lilimar. As you know, we must go up if we want to go down. Again, I'll tell you, watch your step. Because now we've entered a world within another world. Welcome to the Deep Well. Now let me tell you a little story. Not long ago, a man named Charlie Reed came here and stood in this spot. Because in the world above us, two moons kissed. A cosmic event that foretold the coming of the monster Gog-Magog. And so the Deep Well opened, and Gog-Magog broke free, boasting all the faces of the people it's consumed. If Gan hadn't been there to call Gog-Magog by name, Gog-Magog's world could have become our own.